Good evening, nerds around the world. This is episode 104 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. I'm your host, Paul English, and as always, we have a terrific show for you, as well as a great panel that I'm going to introduce to you right now, beginning with Mr. Colton Hunt. How are you, sir?
Hey, everyone. Glad to finally be back after a several-week hiatus and whatnot, but, well, you know, life gets in the way. But we're back, and all I have to say is, it's Nerf or nothing. This will make sense in a moment.
Indeed it will. Mike Ulick from Geek Style is also here. How you doing, Mike?
Finally, the mic has come back to Nerds United as One. So
yes.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back. Glad to have my Nerf. It's not the size of the Nerf. It's how you use it, all right?
Right.
Yeah.
Dang, that was... Okay, I need to readjust that.
You know, you're already having too much problem with that camera, Mike. Do you really want to fuck it up even more?
It's lasting me pretty good so far.
So guys, I am sorry about the hiatus. You know, as Colton said, life gets in the way sometimes, but we're back, and hopefully we ain't going to be having any extended hiatuses for a long period of time. And as Colton kind of referred to,
I have no life, so fuck.
That was sad, kind of. But anyway, nowadays with Netflix and DVRs and on-demands and whatnot, commercials have become more or less an irritating annoyance. But every once in a while, a company does come along, creates a series of commercials to advertise their product that does stick in our head, that they do work. We remember their products, and which means we're more likely to use them. So they do their job. And that is the topic of today's show. We are going to be paying tribute to that creativity by counting down our top 5 favorite series of commercials. Now, to be fair, we are talking about commercials that are advertising a product such as a toy, as Colton mentioned, or a grooming product maybe, or insurance. Nothing having to do with movies or TV shows or anything like that. These are like physical products that we buy, that we use in our everyday life. With that said, let's get it started. Colton, let me start with you. Give me your number 5 favorite series of commercials.
All right. Number 5 is the commercial series that started way back in 2010 with a iconic phrase that began with, "Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back to your man. Now back to me." Oh my gosh. The Old Spice commercials back then, it was like hilarious because not only was the guy like able to deliver all those lines stone cold serious without somehow cracking up, but like the scenarios they threw him into were just unbelievable. I mean, even the simplest of things like, "Did you know I'm riding this horse backwards?" But the best part of it was that the highlight of that commercial series was when they had for a while they switched to having Terry Crews being the mascot, and then they decided to have the two mascots duking out together, basically doing dueling products with themselves, and they made it absolutely hilarious. It's like I didn't know how effective the Old Spice stuff actually was, but it really made me actually want to try it out just because of how addicting those commercials were.
As someone who has used Old Spice product deodorant for about 16 years, I can tell you it works just fine.
Cool.
Hasn't got me any ladies yet, though, but you know, it does. I don't smell, so that's a good thing, at least. All right, Mike, I'm coming to you. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is the Geico Gecko. When I first saw him, he was kind of annoying, but the more I saw his commercials, the more he kind of grew on me, especially when they started putting him into like when he was trying to do they were shooting a commercial and he was like, "I don't want to do this." And he was just like, he was like overacting something fierce. I prefer him, like, they've had multiple voices for him. I prefer him with the Australian voice, but he's grown on me. I still don't have Geico as my insurance, but the advertising has stuck with me.
Oh, very nice. Well, my number 5 is also the Old Spice commercials with Mustafa advertising. As Colton said, just how much he could say in such a dry voice was just absolutely hilarious. Some of the ridiculous things he would do, like, "Look down, now look back at me. I'm holding a clam. Look down, look again, look up." The clown has a ticket to that event you always wanted to see. Look down, now look up. It's a pair of diamonds. How did they get here? It's an Old Spice magic.
Man, you did a very good job there, Paul.
That's how much I've watched them. It's kind of sad, to be honest. But hey,
I just remember one. I remember one where he like gives someone the T-shirt and like, now look up, now look down. You're not even holding the T-shirt anymore. He's wearing the T-shirt backwards.
Yes, those were very well done. All right, moving on to number 4, Colton. What do you got?
Okay, so we all know the joke about Apple Jacks. They don't look like apples, they don't taste like them, but kids like them just because they do. Well, there was one particular set of Apple Jacks commercials that stuck with me, and that was the red Apple Jacks commercials. It starts off with this one guy saying, "Hey kids, you're in luck. They're finally gonna make Apple Jacks look and taste like apples," and the kids were like, "What? No! No!" And they all go rushing to Kellogg's headquarters while the contest is basically, well, there's a contest being held. We could actually vote on whether or not we want the Apple Jacks to look and taste like apples. I don't know if that was actually legit or not, but because the contest just happened to be ruled in the favor of the Apple Jacks staying the way they were. But it was still hilarious seeing the kids' reactions, and I thought it was a pretty good campaign, because in addition to just the over-the-topness of the kids' reactions, there was them breaking into the Kellogg's headquarters, trying to stop the Apple Jacks from being deployed, but only to be too late because 2,000 boxes already left. And then because of that, there was another contest being held where if you found one of the red Apple Jacks, you could win up to $100 or $10,000. And to cap it all off, because they still need something new to happen to Apple Jacks, we can vote on something different, which was, I believe, blue carrot pieces were added for a limited time. It was a pretty good contest, I'd say, with a good hook and good pacing throughout it, I'd say.
I remember those, actually. You jogged my memory on that one. I remember those vaguely. But those were good. All right. I remember that taste like no, I want them to taste like cinnamon. Thank you very much. Mike, up to you. Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is a bit of an older one, but it's one I remember seeing from my childhood, and I still stuck with me to this day. Where's the beef?
Yes.
To this day, Wendy's is my favorite fast out of the big 3. And I don't know if it's because of this commercial, but it certainly helped. Clara, where's the beef Peller, who unfortunately decided to kind of, when Wendy's kind of moved off for her, she went on and we used that as a very similar one and advertise something else, and Wendy's pretty much sued the pants off of her, and she died very shortly after. Kind of sad ending, but hey, I still like commercials.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Where's the beef?
I never saw those commercials, if memory serves.
Yeah, they were a little before our time, but
they're on YouTube.
All right, I'll give it a look after the show.
So my number 4 is the Geico auto insurance commercial, and not just with the Gecko, but the ones that really stick out to me is when you see the guy going, "Can switching to Geico save you 15% or more on car insurance? There's a bear, shit in the woods," or just something literal like that. I just thought they were hilarious. The scenarios he came up with were just fantastic. So those are ones that really stuck out. All right. So moving on. Number 3, Colton, go.
Number 3. So, the words serious business and the 90s are pretty much synonymous. Any toy that was sold back then was sold in the most over-the-top way. We had Simon, which is basically a kid playing against a graffiti drawing coming to life in a back alley. We had Crossfire, which was, 2 kids playing for the fate of the universe by shooting marbles at a spinning disc in the middle of a small arena. But the one campaign that really stuck with me as the epitome of serious business was Nerf. Face it, you're either on one end of a Nerf weapon or the other. The ones done by Devin Sawa, I think his name was, were probably some of the most insane commercials ever, especially when he did the Nerf Aerostorm commercials. He's like, "Storm! Not Desert Storm, not Thunderstorm, Nerf Aerostorm, with a rotating semi-automatic firing turret. That means 6 arrows. No waiting." The funny thing about that is that it's just so hilarious seeing how, Nerf guns are treated very seriously now, but seeing them but back then, seeing them being, actual silly toys and still being taken seriously is just even more funny, I think. And I love the Nerf for Nothing campaign. It was just, kids just trying to kill each other with giant foam darts in whatever ways they could. It's like, it was only rivaled by, I think, by Super Circle, where it came to taking a children's plaything as serious business.
Well, I think they still hold up. You want to believe how many adults I see coming in to buy Nerf guns at work. It's pretty intense.
Definitely.
The kids, the adults, too. They want the Nerf guns, too. All right. Mike, you're up. Number 3 on your list is?
All right. Mine is, again, a little bit older. Not quite as old as Where's the Beef, but it's from Budweiser. And I can sum it up with one word. What's that?
Okay.
That's what they were selling with the was. I had no idea what they were selling back then. I was just, what are they doing?
It got annoying real fast, but to this day, I every now and then I will break out a good "what's up" just for the hell of it, because it's "what's up."
What's up?
He even made a joke about it in the first Scary Movie.
I remember that one. It was weird to say the least, but
I enjoyed it.
All right. So number 3, I gotta say, when it comes to making creative commercials, alcohol companies that sell alcohol tend to do a pretty good job with them. For whatever reason, they stand out more than others, such as my number 3, the original, the most interesting man in the world, for Dos Equis. Now, I don't like beer, so I've never tasted it, but I'll be damned if those commercials just don't stick out for like the craziest things that this guy ever did. He took pre-calculus in middle school. Or whatever, just the thing they came up with.
He once punched a magician. That's right, you heard me.
He once strangled he once roped in a toro, a bull, without a cape.
He once parallel parked a train.
So yeah, no, it
Classic.
comes out, and the voice was just, it just fit. I mean, he had it. I missed that guy. I mean, the new guy, I'm sorry, he doesn't have the chops. He doesn't have the same charm. All right. So number 2, Colton, is on your list.
Number 2 is the Mayhem series from Allstate.
Oh, that almost made it to mine.
If you have covered insurance, you can be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. Be better protected from mayhem, like me.
And then he falls through a roof.
This is another guy that, like the Old Spice guy, you would think he'd be cracked. A lesser person would be cracking up during every line, but he manages to deliver everything with just straight-laced serious, with a hint of some humor to each of them. But my favorite one of all those commercials has definitely got to be the GPS one. It was like, I'm your GPS. Since you don't update me regularly, I guess just to wing it. Recalculating to right now. And of course, there was also the football one where he was where he accidentally let a bunch of football players out the wrong door and into the middle of a busy street, causing a driver to swerve and crash into a pole or whatever. And then there was, even way back when the campaign first started, it really got my attention. Like when he was just a tree branch, he was like, shaky, 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 shaky. The branch falls and crashes onto the car beneath it. It's probably my favorite, of the insurance commercials, Progressive, maybe because I see it regularly now that I work at a TV station, but it started to get on my nerves kind of, and I've never been the biggest fan of anything from Geico that's not the Geico itself, because the other campaigns feel like they've been run into the ground due to just telling us the same stuff. But those commercials have been pretty fresh, I'd say, keeping my interest with each new iteration.
All right, good one. All right, Mike, your number 2 is?
My number 2 is the anthropomorphic M&Ms. They've been around forever. I can barely remember a time without them. But, I mean, the fact that they've got the sarcastic red one, the kind of dopey, goofy peanut yellow one, and then each one has its own unique individual personality. I mean, dude, it's it's genius. And plus, they've been around for how long?
I
don't know
how,
how-
been alive.
years.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've how long it's been since I first saw the commercial where they meet Santa Claus.
Oh my god, that one
It does exist. They do.
Oh,
exist.
Yeah, that's been around for like years and years. So they've been around for a while, but they keep finding ways to make them new and fresh. So
I also forgot to mention the rare female green M&M.
Oh yeah, yeah. And whenever she shows up, it's she always adds an interesting personality to them.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. I just really hope there aren't any guys who get turned on by that because that's just disturbing.
It's an M&M.
You know how some people are. All right.
You know,
so number 2 on my list.
There's a fetish for everything, Paul. It's like they say.
Sadly, you're right. All right. So number 2 on my list were, and I don't get the hate from you because they stick in my mind so much. To the fact that I still watch them on YouTube a lot. The freecreditreport.com commercials with those catchy jingles that stuck in your head for years. Well, you don't remember those?
Oh, I thought you were gonna sing one. See.
No, because I can't sing. I'm not good at that. But seriously, when you get a chance,
singing F to the R to the E to the E to the C to the R to the E D I T read to the port to the dot to the com. Come on, everybody, grab your. Okay, are you trying to tell me something, Mike?
No, sorry, that was just getting annoying.
I know I can't sing, but you didn't have to.
No.
That really was not.
I was trying.
Naughty person.
I was trying to say it wasn't his singing; it was the song.
Oh.
But you muted me before I could explain that. So now you're the one that's being rude. So shut up.
You can't. I already shut myself up.
Well, I married my dream girl, but she didn't tell me her credit was bad. So now instead of living in a pleasant suburb, I'm living in the base matter. Mom and Dad know we can't get along for
Yeah, Mike, go on YouTube and watch them. Just type in freecreditreport.com commercials. They're pretty catchy.
I know. I've seen them. It's the songs just. I just find them really annoying.
I don't get why something. I think they're fun as hell. But all right, so
Cole, nothing to do with your singing. I think you've got a fine voice, better than mine anyway. It's just the songs I can't stand.
Actually, I remember you telling me to never sing again when I sang "Purr Singing in the Rain" during one of our chats.
Okay, I don't remember that, but cool. Good for me.
But thank you, though, Mike.
Moving on. This is it. Number 1 on our list. Colton, what do you got?
All right, this was a toughie. It was originally going to be one commercial, but since I couldn't remember the entire marketing campaign, I sadly had to drop it. But I replaced it with something from the same field, and that is the Dear PlayStation series from the early PlayStation 3 days. The ones done by Kevin Butler. You remember those, right?
Can't say I do, unfortunately.
What?
Nope.
You bottom feeders. Anyway, basically, as we all know, PlayStation 3 had a bit of a rough start with its marketing campaigns. First, having those weird mind screw commercials, like there was especially that weird one with that doll baby or whatever that scared everyone to death. But after that one, after those weird commercials, we got the Dear PlayStation series, where Kevin Butler was basically a different person every time. Basically being the PlayStation 3's hype man in a variety of different ways. One of the first commercials I saw with it was when he was when he was talking about the release of Uncharted 2. This one guy said, "Dear PlayStation, my girlfriend won't stop watching me play Uncharted 2 because she thinks it's a movie." And then he says, "Yeah, that's obvious," but then he says, "Yeah, I can see why it's happening, but I'm gonna file this under not an issue." And he's like, "It's been 2 days." That was a funny commercial.
I remember that.
Now I remember those. I especially remember the one from for the advertising MLB 09, the show, where Dustin Pedroia got PO'd. But I still remember that. Dear PlayStation, MLB 09, the show thinks I can't hit the high inside fastball. You're gonna change that, right? And Butler's like, "Nah, we're gonna keep it the way it is because we like to be authentic." You see Pedroia, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just polishing my MVP trophy. How many MVPs do you know that can't hit that pitch?" apart from you. Yeah, I remember those were funny. The baseball ones always caught my interest.
My favorite of to quickly wrap up, my favorite commercial of the Dear PlayStation Station series, I think, was when Resistance 3 was debuting. The commercial featured Kevin Butler sitting on a horse, of all things, in the middle of a war-torn area as he was giving a speech that was pretty much straight out of Braveheart to a group of gamers, telling them that as he was promoting, it was also the time when the PlayStation Move was a thing. He was promoting a sort of gun, weapon, a shooter that could incorporate the PlayStation Move, and he said, "The Chimera may take a few of our lives, but they'll never take our shooters!" And then the guys all triumphantly raise their guns into the air and shout out a triumphant battle cry. And what I liked about that commercial is that I feel like it reminds us that at the end of the day, no matter what, we're all on the same side. Really, we're all gamers.
All right,
that's why I wanted to originally pick the To Michael commercial that was part of the Long Live Play series from several years back. I can't remember when it came out exactly, but I couldn't remember enough of Long Live Play to justify that as being part of a series. So yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good pick. All right, Mike, you're up. Number one is.
Well, once I went down to South America and arm wrestled Fidel Castro, and I found the Phantom of Youth, but I didn't drink because I wasn't thirsty. I am most interesting person in the world. Yeah, I just get a massive kick out of these guys. Again, I don't drink either. Well, I don't drink beer, at least anyway. Mm-hmm. But those commercials are just the amounts of things that the guy's done were just. I mean, the fact that they kept trying to top themselves and making it more outrageous, it was just hilarious. And not only that, but the fact that it spawned so many awesome internet memes. I don't always play PlayStation, but when I do, I play Xbox. This is one I've seen. They're like,
I saw the meme before I ever knew what the commercial was. Heck, when I was in college, one of my classmates actually used the background music from the most interesting man in the world commercials for one of his projects. I'm thinking, what the heck is this from?
Yeah, I've actually heard that Dos Equis isn't the best beer out there, but you know what? They got some of the best commercials out there, so more power to them.
Yeah. All right. So number one on my list. And I am so disappointed in both of you that none of you even put this on your list. What might be the greatest series of commercials to ever come out of the media world. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. How do you not remember those?
I don't.
You people are not.
I'm sorry, Paul. I feel maybe if you describe it a little bit more, I might remember. Like you guys remember the Dear PlayStation ads.
You don't remember they were usually on the radio. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but oh my god, they were the funniest. It was the guy who voiced Captain Keyes on Halo with the former lead singer of Survivor. Those are the two main voices, and they just come with these. Saluting the most weirdest things you like. Saluting Mr. Silent Killer Gas Passer, Mr. Giant Footlong Hot Dog Inventor. I mean, they were unfreaking believably funny. The beat, oh my god. I don't drink beer, and from what I've heard, Bud Light tastes nasty, but those were the best damn commercials I have ever seen or heard in my life. When you guys get a chance, go to YouTube as soon as this is over and just type in Bud Light's Real Men of Genius campaign commercials.
No problem.
You will be laughing your ass off at some of them.
You know, Paul, for a second I thought you were going to say like an entirely different commercial. I thought you were going to pick a different set of commercials to be the one that we should all be ashamed for not mentioning. And real quick, what I thought it was going to be was Barney, my pebbles. The Fruity Pebbles commercials. I almost put that on my list because it's like probably one of the most iconic person stealing another person's cereal commercials out there. I mean, barely. I wound up not using it, instead use the Stop the Red Apple Jacks commercials instead. But still a good set though.
Actually, if you want to see something funny, you can look at. I'm pretty sure you can find them on YouTube. But like back in like the 50s and 60s, Fred and Barney Rubble used to advertise cigarettes.
Oh, I've seen those.
Winston tastes good, just like a cigarette should.
Yeah,
Something
modern
messed
Stone
up
Age
about
family.
that. All right, guys. So with that said, that is going to wrap up episode 104 of our show. I hope you look back fondly upon these very rare set of commercials that do stick in your head. And I want to thank both Colton and Mike for being here, gentlemen. It was a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Glad to be here.
Next week, with any luck, we are going to be discussing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Some of us have seen it, some of it haven't, but hopefully all of us will see it by next week and we'll be discussing it. So hopefully we will see you there to check it out. We will hopefully see you all there. Until then, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.